What up, you guys? It's Rafael at Top Shot Collectibles, and what a better time to start ranking the Scarlet and Violet era than right now when we just finished with Black Bolt and White Flare, which is the last two specialty sets of the Scarlet and Violet era. Those sets have been out now for a month, so I think it is the best time to rank them all as a whole, see how they stack up against each other. Now, a lot of people may not agree with the way I'm ranking them, but I am taking into account the investability of the sets as the sealed product in the future, as well as the value in each of the sets and the cards, rarities, and art styles that it does have within the set. So an overall look at each individual set, and then we're going to rank them accordingly. We're going to go through the main sets first, and then we're going to go through the specialty sets. So let's get ranking. All right, you guys, here we have it. At the very top, we're going to have the final boss, which basically means it is your best in breed within the entire Scarlet and Violet era for both investability and collectability. Then we're going to have the hero quest, which is your main sets that you want to have in any collection that you also want to collect, because they are pretty good sets that will do very well in the future. Your side quests, if you are a seal collector, you do want to pick them up still to have the entire complete era, but we are going to rank them accordingly as well. Then you have your NPCs. They are just basically sets that were printed that didn't perform as well, and while they can be helpful and they may have a couple of rare cards in them that may be collectible to you as a specific set, they are not going to be performance of the Scarlet and Violet era. And at the very end, at the lowest of the lowest, we have the Rage Quit, which essentially means the bottom of the entire era. And yeah, so let's get started. First, we're going to look at Scarlet and Violet, right? Scarlet and Violet base. Now, Scarlet and Violet base is a 515 total value for the set, and while it does have a Gardevoir EX, the Ralts, and the Kirlia as a sequential art, as you can see, they're not as valuable as they could be. And I know Gardevoir is a very usually sought after Pokemon, but in this type of rarity, it hasn't performed as it normally would in this specific set. So because of that, and because of the value, and because of the lack of stronger SIRs in the set doesn't really have much to offer. It hasn't performed in the last 2 years that's been out since release. So Scarlet and Violet, in my opinion, I'm sorry, but we are going to have to put it in the Rage Quit area because of the factors that we just disclosed. All right, Paldea Evolved. Paldea Evolved, in my opinion, has a lot of great art. The Raichu, the Tyranitar, of course, it's got the Chinchikanda Magikarp that's doing crazy things with the low population report on a PSA 10. It's got a Mero that looks beautiful. The Fuecoco, it looks amazing. The Qianpao. So as you scroll down to the set, you can find cards of Sudowoodo. It's nice. Cards that are not as valuable, but that it still have some type of art style that is appealing to the eye, right? So I think Paldea Evolved is going to go down as a great set. And because of that, I will put Paldea Evolved in the hero quest for the time being, because I think it's going to do great things, and you can't go wrong with Chinchikanda and Magikarp. It's doing great things, and I think at this point, because the set has been out for about 2 and some change years, it's going to continue to perform at 1,112 total value. Now, moving on to Obsidian Flames. Obsidian Flames, in my opinion, the Charger could have been a better SIR and hyper rare cards that they could have put in there, but regardless, it's only a $320 value set, but in my opinion, it does have cards that I feel are undervalued, like the Scizor, for example, a $9 card. It looks amazing. It's not a crazy sought after Pokemon. The Gloom looks beautiful. In person, the Gloom looks really, really good. The Pidgeot EX is actually an SIR, and it's only $13 in a PSA 10. I think a lot of these cards, when we start looking at the Mega Evolution sets, I think a lot of these cards, we're going to look back at them and we're going to realize, wow, those were beautiful cards. And then we're going to start to see a little more momentum, especially right now in March of 2026 when these go out of print, as the set go out of print. I think there may be an uptick in a couple of these singles, especially in the PSA 10 department. But because of that, I will put Obsidian Flames in front of Scarlet and Violet. I do believe that it's a better set than Scarlet and Violet. I don't think it's quite there yet in terms of value, or I don't know if it will ever get to the NPC or to the next tier up, just because the value is not there and the demand for the set overall is not there, and they really did lack in the SIR department. The Chargers needed to be a little more appealing, I believe, to be able to pull that demand that it needed to keep going forward. All right, Paradox Rift. I really enjoy this set. It's only 817 total value for the sets. It's been out for now 2 years or so, but the Groudon, it's a great AR. The Altaria EX looks amazing. You got a Roaring Moon, you got a Garchomp EX that looks cool. And as you scroll down, you get the Plusle and the Minimum sequential arts. The Morpeko, it's great. The Steelix is a great card. You got an Iveta. You got a lot of depth in the set that as you scroll down, you can see that there's a lot of cards that are really appealing and really nice cards that in the eye of a collector in the future will be appealing and will be pickups for a lot of people. So I think Paradox Rift, in my opinion, has potential for the future. This sealed product also has potential for the future. It's not in your top tier level set, but I think it does deserve a some type of middle point when it comes to ranking them, because like I said before, I think it does have potential for the future. Okay, up next is Temporal Forces. Temporal Forces is a little bit of a mix because this, the Walking Wake, the Raging Bolt, and the Gouging Fire weren't as appealing as normally they would have been your normal legendary Pokemon. These are paradox from an alternate past is what they try to do here. And so the Raging, while the Gouging Fire, for example, may look like an Entei, it's essentially a Pokemon from the past, right? It resembles an Entei a lot, but this is a fire and dragon type Pokemon, and Entei, it's fire only. I believe they're probably from the same family, I'm assuming, but as you can see, this is an ancient card, so it's like a Pokemon from the past, and it is an SIR. Same thing with the Walking Wakes and SIR, and the Raging Bolts, all three are SIRs. This set didn't quite appeal as much to a lot of people. The overall value is only $751, but I do believe that there is a lot of cards in here that are worth salvaging, like the Metagross, the Litten. You got a couple hyper rare cards from those No Gouging Fire and Raging Bolt cards. The Minccino, and I think there's the Cinccino and the Minccino cards. Sequential arts are beautiful. They appeal to a lot of people. The Lickitung. So you do have a lot of depth in this set as well. Not as much, not enough to get to the top tier level, but I will put it, in my opinion, in front of Paradox Rift, because I do think that it's got some type of potential, especially for like the sealed. When we get close to being out of rotation, this set doesn't go out of rotation until later on. You know, the first sets that will go out of rotation is SV5 and below. So these sets, because they came in at a later time, they won't go out of rotation until later on. Up next is Twilight Masquerade. Now, this set is something that I do believe has way more potential than the Twilight and the Paradox. And there is a Greninja in here that is pushing the set a great deal, but you also have a illustration rare Eevee. You also have the Chansey with the Psyduck, the Ditto, and Snorlax in there. It's also an IR that is beautiful. But in my opinion, because of what the set has the potential to do, and the Greninja EX is one of the top chases out of the Scarlet and Violet era, I do believe that this is going to do really well in the future. You do have special illustration rares from Carmine and Perrin, and they both look beautiful in my opinion. So I think Twilight Masquerade, we are going to put them in the side quest in front of Temporal and Paradox, because I do believe that Twilight, it is a better set than Temporal and Paradox. All right, up next, Stellar Crown, and this one has $395 total value. And while I do enjoy the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur in this set, I don't think that this has been enough of a illustration rares in the set to be able to push it forward. I think it has felt low in the SIR department with only a Terapagos EX. We do have other SIRs, but they're not sought after Pokemon, which turned into the set not being as desirable. So Stellar Crown, because of its value and because of what the lack of SIRs and IRs in that department, will put it at the NPC category. It could be that in the future this Stellar Crown may jump up to the side quest category or to a different higher category than what it is now, but for the time being it will stay, in my opinion, in the NPCs category. Okay, Surging Sparks. Now we're getting more into the weeds, right? So the Pikachu EX, like you already know, has been crashing a lot with the summer. It started really high, but that's usually normal with singles when a hype set comes out and it's been anticipated for so long. So the Pikachu EX, obviously it is pushing the set higher. It is $1,097 value set. It it's only been out for a year, but it does have a Larias, it does have a Larios, the Melodic, Hydreigon EX, SIR, the Pikachu EX, probably one of the best Pikachu hyper rare cards that we've seen. The Larios is great, the Executor is great, Lisa's Appeal is good. So you do have a lot of people like this Zero Edge as well. So you do have a lot of depth in this set. So a lot of people compare it to Vivid Voltage, but I would 100% disagree with that. This has so much more depth to it. The Skarmory, it's a great IR. You got a Mesprit, that's good. And you just keep scrolling and you find the Dugtrio, it's great. You just keep finding great art, the Fampi, that just shows you that the set deserves the spot that it has. So in my opinion, Surging Sparks, because of everything that we just talked about, deserves a spot not in front, but behind Paldea Evolved in the Hero Quest category. All right, now remember, we are leaving the specialty sets for last. So after we go to the main sets, we only got a few left. We're gonna go and we're gonna do the specialty sets. So Journey Together has a total value of $624. It's only been out for what's that, 5 months or so. And this Lily's Clefairy, I don't know if you guys remember, was going for like upwards of $400 or $500 at release, and now it's only, you can find it for below $100, which is crazy. But that's what the hype would do to a set. The set is not as bad. A lot of people actually enjoy ripping open the set, enjoy the Salamence, the Ionos, Bellibol, the Articuno, in my opinion, is one of the better birds that we've had in the Scarlet and Violet era. You know, aside from the Zapdos from 151, this one is actually great. The Volcanion EX, it's a great SIR. You got the Wailer in there that was a lot higher than what it is now at the very beginning. You got the Ens Reshiram. You do have a lot of cards that are actually really good in terms of art style, but like again, art and design is kind of subjective. You really have to dabble into what the market wants and what the market is willing to pay for these singles. And when the singles lack, or when the set lack a SIR or a very strong IR or SIR, then you get a set that doesn't perform as well, right? And usually translate into the sealed product as well. So Journey Together, because of that, in my opinion, it's gonna go right in front of Stellar Crown. I do think Journey Together is a better set than Stellar Crown. That's why I'm going to put it at the very first spot of the category, because I think it does have potential. It does have cards that are better than what Stellar Crown has to offer. All right, now we are at Destined Rivals. Destined Rivals just came out in May, so we only have maybe, what's that, about 2 months now since its release. And it is holding surprisingly well. The booster box, like you guys already saw, it's holding at $300, and we haven't seen it move too much from there. So it's really, really crazy to see a set like this that's fairly new staying that high. And the singles too, the singles hasn't been slashing or crashing down in price as much. But again, I do think the Destined Rivals is going to be one of the top main sets of the era, and I said this in my previous videos. I do enjoy a lot of, like, look at these, just the top 5 lineup is just really good. They're all over $100 right now. Team Rocket's Nidoking SIR, the Ho-Ho SIR, the Moltres SIR, the Saints Garchomp SIR. They're all at the very top of the set. But even when you keep going down and you start to look at what else the set has to offer, you got the Mewtwo Hyper Rare, you got the Misty's Psyduck, you got another Hyper Rare Cynthia's Garchomp, the Typhlosion, the Misty's Lapras, and you keep scrolling and you continue to find great art designs, great illustration rares, great cards that you foresee them being really good in the future. So this set, in my opinion, will go down as one of the best ones of Scarlet and Violet era. And because of that, I will categorize Destined Rivals will be my very first final boss set. I really like the set, and I think the public does too. So we'll see what happens. All right, now we're getting into the specialty sets. Our first specialty set that we're going to look at is 151 at $1,100 total value. I do think the nostalgia is here, the SIRs hit the mark, the IRs are great, and you get so much favorite Pokemons in here that you can't go wrong with 151. Look at the ETB, look at the Ultra Premium Collection box. The sealed product continues to perform. This set will go out of rotation in March, and I do have high hopes for the future of the set. The Charizard has been showing up a lot. It has been graded a lot because it is a Charizard. I think we're at 21,000 for the graded PSA 10 Charizard, and that's why it's hovering at $200 only for, you know, the chase card of the set. But again, this is a set that you will scroll down and you will see a lot of depth in the cards, a lot of great cards. Blastoise, Venusaur, Zapdos. Zapdos is one of my favorite of this set. The Alakazam SIR, another of my favorites. The Pikachu IR with so much going on. There's a Blastoise in the background that I don't know a lot of people miss. Pidgeotto, there's a Jigglypuff, there's a Gengar in the corner, there's a Psyduck all the way over there. Like there's a lot going on in this card that I really enjoy the card. And I think it's undervalued, in my opinion. I've said that before. You get the Mew EX, another Mew EX ultra rare. You just have a lot going on in this set. The IRs are really, really unique that I really enjoy. And so because of that, I do think that the 151 specialty set deserves a spot in the final boss category ahead of Destined Rivals. I do think because it's a specialty set and because it is Kanto Pokemon and it has a lot of nostalgia, it's gonna perform better than Destined Rivals. All right, our next specialty set is Prismatic Evolutions. Now, at $4,300, a set that's been out for 7 months now, and it continues to have this level of value. It is really interesting to see, but the set is being carried by the evolutions because a lot of the SIRs in here, aside from the evolutions, are not really that good. I really personally, and I know I don't want to put up too much personal emotion into this set because I talked about this before. I really don't like the terralization of Prismatic Evolutions, the terralized Pokemon, right? Like Cyrilech EX SIR and the Dragapult SIR. The Roaring Moon EX is actually salvageable. I actually do like that card. But the evolutions, they're all terralized and they're all essentially above $100. That's essentially what's carrying the set, right? Other than the evolutions, you really don't have much more in here. That's really what's carrying this set. But I know it's Prismatic Evolutions, it's Eevee, it's Umbreon, and the market speaks for itself. Art, it is subjective. I understand that. So I have to rank it accordingly, even though me personally, I would rank other sets ahead of it. Knowing what I know when it comes to sealed product and how this product, sealed and singles, will perform over the years, I have to give Prismatic Evolutions and have to categorize it in the final boss category, and I have to put them in front of 151 if the system would allow me to do that. It doesn't allow. There you go. All right, up next is Shrouded Fable at $603 total value. This set is now 2 years old, and Ethan Vessel is the best card out of the set at $46, and the second best is a Basic Energy. I think they really missed the mark when it comes to SIRs in this set, and that usually is the repeating pattern, right? When you miss the SIR department, which is the highest rarity, actually hyper rares are the highest rarity, but SIRs, because of the art style, usually tend to be more sought after by collectors and investors as a whole. And so when you miss that mark in a set like this, especially with a specialty set, then you don't get the value, you don't get the demand that you could potentially get. And so Shrouded Fable, even though it's a specialty set, and even though it's able to pick up ETBs and bundles at below MSRP and did very well with those because they have gone up now, I do think that the set leaves us with a lot to be desired, and I will put them, because it's a specialty set and because the potential that it has for the sealed product, I will place them ahead in front as a better set than Obsidian Flames and Scarlet and Violet base. This could be a Rebel Clash situation where Pokemon Company doesn't see the demand for a set like this, even though it's a specialty set, and it doesn't get printed as much, and the sealed product may perform in the years to come very well ahead of Obsidian and Scarlet and Violet. So with that in mind, I am going to place it ahead, still in the Rage Quit category. All right, Paldean Fates at $1,576 total value. It is now 2 years and some change. And, or is that 2? No, that's a year and some change. The Bubble Mew has been doing crazy things lately. I think last I checked was $650 to $700, which is crazy. But it is one of the best SIRs in the entire era. I do enjoy this card, and a lot of people resonate with that. It is a shiny Mew SIR, and it's really good. You got the Charizard SIR in here, and you got the Gardevoir SIR at the front. Now, the majority of this chunk of value from this set comes from the baby shinies, because as you scroll down, you can see that we are like 20 deep right now, and these baby shinies are still worth like $6 each, right? A set that's a year and some change old. The same thing happened with Hidden Fates and Shining Fates. The baby shinies usually hold because they're shiny Pokemon, right? And they have some type of rarity to them, and they're harder to pull. I mean, not as hard as the IRs and SIRs, but because of that, they do hold some type of value because they are shiny. And so a lot of the value from the set comes from those. Regardless, the top 3 cards are beautiful in Paldean Fates, and I do believe that because of that, Paldean Fates deserves to be in the final boss category in my books. Although, because like I said before, a lot of value comes from a lot of these shiny Pokemon, I don't think it's better than Prismatic. I don't think it's better than 151, and I really don't think it's gonna perform better than Destined Rivals in the years to come. Now, the Bubble Mew itself may perform better than a lot of the top hits of Destined Rivals, but as a set, I think Destined Rivals has a lot more to offer in the longevity of it for the years to come. So I will put in the final boss category, but it's gonna be at the back end of the final boss category. All right, White Flare. White Flare came out. Black Bolt and White Flare both came out in July of 2025. So this is only like about a month old. And this set, it's great, packed with so much Gen 5 illustration rares and SIRs. I do like the Reshiram EX, of course, new rarity. The Reshiram EX special illustration rare is beautiful. Hydreigon EX is beautiful. The Hilda special illustration rare is also really good. You have a lot of cards in here that are really, really appealing to the eye. I like the Sorora. It gives you like a little Lion King vibes. But because they are Gen 5 Pokemon, and because there's not that much demand for Gen 5, there is demand. There is a lot of people that really resonate with this because of the game, right? The black and white game. But there's not too much to the point where it would put it at the very, very top. So I don't think that it has the potential to do that. White Flare, in my opinion, goes at the very forefront of the side quest. Now, Black Bolt is $2,832, right? Compared to the $2,976. The difference in value comes essentially from the Victini. The Victini from White Flare, it's more expensive than the one in Black Bolt. But as a whole, I do think that there's a lot more demand for the Zekrom than the Reshiram. The Zekrom EX is just a beautiful card, illustration rare in my opinion. The Seismitoad just recently ran up because Shinji Kanda and all the speculation, all these like hidden secret messages in the card that people found, and the card moved up. I don't know how long this is gonna stay at that price, but it wasn't this high at the very beginning when the set came out. That I think, in my opinion, it's a better set than White Flare. So because of that, and because of the Victini and the new black and white rarities, I think they both belong in the side quest category. But Black Bolt, I am going to put it at the very front of the side quest. This completes the entire Scarlet and Violet era, and you can clearly see that at the very top we have 3 specialty sets and Destined Rivals, right? Followed by Paldea Evolved and Surging Sparks. These are the top 5 or 6, if you will, of the Scarlet and Violet era, in my opinion. A lot of these ranking videos that I see a lot of people make, I tend to not agree with a lot of them, but I think it's just a matter of perspective and a matter of what you as a person believe. It's kind of subjective to the person that's making the video. You may be watching this, you may be thinking, no, I don't think that's true. I think Paldea Evolved, it's better than Destined Rivals and Paldean Fates. Or I think the Black Bolt and White Flare should be ahead of Paldea Evolved and Surging Sparks. But this is just the baseline, and I do think that regardless of how you slice it, Prismatic, 151, Destined Rivals, and Paldean Fates are at the top of the Scarlet and Violet era and will perform very well in the years to come. Alright you guys, so I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed the content, please consider leaving a like on the video, leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts, let me know if you agree with my ranking, let me know if I missed the mark or if I missed any. I think I got all the sets covered for Scarlet and Violet era. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you need sealed products, topshopcollectibles.com. We got slaps, Japanese, English, and we will have the Mega Evolutions on release day. So keep an eye out for that. If you haven't subscribed to the email list, it should be somewhere in our categories. And at the very bottom, there's a sign up form that will allow you to get emails for when we restock with new products on the website. So yeah, as always, stay positive, keep your head up, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.